Your script calls for your character to belch or burp. Maybe you've just eaten something or drank a drink and now you have to let out a belch or a burp. How do you act a burp? Burping is a very challenging thing for some people. It's really difficult to fake a burp. You actually have to kind of burp. And some people are really good at burping on command, and there's a little trick for doing it. It takes a little practice, and not everybody's gonna get it right the first time they try it out. So I'm gonna try to explain how that mechanism works in the back of your throat to trap air into a burp. But first, let's talk about the reasons why you would burp or belch in a scene and how a character would act out a burp or a belch. Usually, they're either being crude or, there's some dude or somebody that's just expressing himself or herself or their self, or they are trying to hide a burp. They have a burp that's coming up and they need to disguise it. That's usually the thing. How are you overcoming the burp? You're either letting it out or you're hiding it. Hiding it is a little bit easier because you can just play a little bit of a if you have to belch, you're gonna expand your cheeks a little bit, your soft palate's gonna go up, and the reason you're burping or belching is because you have air trapped in your esophagus, in your throat. A belch is really hard to do for me. You can let out a but it doesn't sound real. It's hard to get that guttural, deep down bassy burp sound without actually burping. So let's talk about how you actually get that burp in your throat. There's a little technique, and it's by putting little bits of air bubble into your throat. You want to expel air, and then you want to tighten your throat muscles so that the air can't get out. So you're pushing, not too hard, but pushing forward with the air on your throat, but your throat is closed off. And then you want to reverse that. By still keeping the throat tight, you want to suck in a little bit of air. And you'll feel a little click as a little bubble of air goes in, and it gets caught right here. And you expel it out. Sorry for the grossness, but that's where we're doing a video on burping. So, yeah, click. One little click is a tiny burp. 5 little clips is a bigger burp. You can build up quite a bit. It sort of gets uncomfortable here. It's not something you can easily do really instantly, but if you have a moment while somebody else is talking and you maybe are drinking a drink or eating some food or something like that, that can give you a moment to build up these little clicks and burps. And you want to be careful not to be too obvious about the build up because it's easy to go like I'm building it up. Let's say I have a glass and I'm drinking a drink. So practice that. It's something kids do all the time, so you should probably be familiar with how to burp already. But if you aren't or haven't been able to do it, try that technique. Pushing forward, closing your throat off, and then pulling some air in. And and then how you let it out and how it sounds when it comes out are gonna be dependent on how much air you got in there and, just sort of what you're gonna do. So then you wanna act it out, maybe add a little bit of a growl into that so that you can make it more disgusting. Covering your mouth, turning your head, trying to mask it is part of a character choice of trying to overcome a burp that's coming in there. Another way to burp too is if you actually have some fizzy water or beer or something like that in your glass, something that's carbonated, that helps, and just gulp it. Gulping water can help build up some of that air bubbles in your system. But remember, a burp is a physical reaction to air building up in your esophagus. Now your character has just learned how to burp. Do you want to learn how to drink from a glass, how to choke on that burp, or how to vomit and feel nauseous? Pick one of those choices.